Have you ever wondered why certain men don't chase attention, yet attention quietly finds them? Why some men walk into a room and high-class women notice them without a single word spoken? It isn't looks alone, money alone, or status alone. It's something subtler, deeper, and far more powerful, an internal order that radiates outward. This video is about why semen retention sharpens that inner order, and how that invisible shift naturally attracts women of higher standards, higher awareness, and higher emotional intelligence. When a man practices semen retention, the first thing that changes is not his outer world, but his inner economy of energy. Desire no longer leaks unconsciously. Attention no longer fragments. The nervous system stabilizes. And from that stability, a calm authority begins to form. High-class women are not attracted to chaos. They are drawn to men whose presence feels grounded, composed, and internally complete. Retention doesn't make you louder, it makes you quieter, and paradoxically, more noticeable. Most men broadcast need without realizing it. Their posture, eye contact, tone, and urgency all reveal hunger. Semen retention reverses this signal. As impulses are mastered, the body language shifts. Movements slow. Eye contact deepens. Speech becomes deliberate. This communicates abundance at a biological level. High-class women are acutely sensitive to these signals because they've learned, often unconsciously, to associate composure with safety, leadership, and emotional maturity. Retention also alters how a man relates to pleasure. Instead of chasing stimulation, he becomes selective. Instead of reacting, he observes. This restraint creates polarity. High-class women are not impressed by men who are easily impressed. They are intrigued by men who are centered, self-directed, and emotionally non-reactive. Retention trains the mind to delay gratification, and delayed gratification is the psychological foundation of attraction. As days turn into weeks, another shift occurs. Confidence stops being performative and becomes embodied. There is no need to prove, posture, or impress. This absence of need is rare, and rarity creates value. High-class women sense when a man is not trying to extract validation from them. Instead, he is present, attentive, and whole. That presence feels refreshing in a world saturated with emotional consumers. There is also a hormonal and neurological component. When discipline replaces compulsion, stress patterns decrease. Cortisol lowers. Testosterone expression becomes more efficient. Dopamine sensitivity recalibrates. The result is a man who feels calm under pressure and energized without restlessness. High-class women are attracted to emotional stability because it signals long-term reliability, not just short-term excitement. Retention refines a man's standards as well. He stops chasing chemistry alone and starts valuing character, intelligence, and alignment. This naturally filters the type of women who respond to him. High-class women recognize when a man isn't impressed by surface-level charm. They feel seen for who they are, not what they offer. That recognition builds deep attraction rooted in respect. Another subtle shift is how time is treated. Retention brings focus, and focus creates purpose. Purpose shapes lifestyle. When a man is building, refining, and advancing his mission, his schedule becomes structured. High-class women are drawn to men whose lives are already full, because fullness signals direction. A man with direction doesn't cling, he leads. Aura is not mystical, it is cumulative behavior expressed non-verbally. The way you stand, pause, listen, and respond communicates everything. Semen retention amplifies these signals by removing internal noise. When the mind is clear, the body speaks coherence. High-class women, often overwhelmed by attention, gravitate toward coherence because it feels grounding rather than draining. Importantly, attraction here is not manipulation. Retention does not make women chase you. It makes you become someone worth noticing. High-class women choose, they are not persuaded. What retention does is align your internal state with the qualities they already value: discipline, self-respect, emotional control, and presence. Over time, this dynamic compounds. The less you chase, the more your value stabilizes. The more stable your value, the less validation you seek. And the less validation you seek, the more your presence speaks for itself. High-class women are not attracted to effort, they are attracted to essence. Retention also sharpens intuition. You begin to sense who is aligned and who is not. This discernment further elevates your interactions. When you are not desperate for connection, your standards rise naturally. High-class women recognize men who choose carefully, because choice implies power. In the end, semen retention is not about attracting women, it is about becoming centered. Attraction is simply the side effect. High-class women are drawn to men who are internally ordered in a disordered world. Men who move with intention rather than impulse. Men whose confidence is silent, whose presence is steady, and whose energy feels rare. If this message resonates, understand this: the goal is not admiration, but alignment. Retention is a tool, not for conquest, but for mastery. And mastery, when embodied, needs no announcement. It is felt. As retention continues, a man begins to experience a quiet shift in how he occupies space. He no longer feels the urge to fill silence, explain himself, or perform confidence. Silence becomes comfortable, even powerful. High-class women are highly attuned to silence because it reveals self-possession. A man who can sit in stillness without anxiety signals emotional regulation, and emotional regulation is one of the strongest unconscious markers of leadership and attraction. Another layer reveals itself in how conflict is handled. Retention strengthens impulse control, which means reactions soften and responses sharpen. Instead of emotional volatility, there is composure. Instead of defensiveness, there is clarity. High-class women value this deeply because they have often experienced men whose emotions swing wildly under stress. A man who remains grounded during tension feels rare, and rarity creates gravity. As discipline deepens, integrity begins to radiate outward. Words align with actions. Promises are measured. Boundaries are respected. This alignment creates trust without effort. High-class women are not impressed by charisma alone, they look for consistency. Retention supports this by reinforcing long-term thinking over short-term release, making a man more reliable not just to others, but to himself. There is also a noticeable refinement in how attention is given. Instead of scattered interest, there is focused presence. When such a man listens, he listens fully. When he speaks, he chooses his words. High-class women feel this immediately because they are used to attention that is shallow or transactional. Focused attention feels intimate without being invasive, confident without being needy. Over time, this presence creates a natural polarity. You are no longer trying to impress, you are evaluating. This shift changes the entire dynamic. High-class women sense when a man is not chasing approval, but quietly observing compatibility. This makes interactions feel balanced rather than tilted. Mutual respect becomes the foundation instead of pursuit. Retention also sharpens self-respect, and self-respect is contagious. The way you treat your time, body, and goals sets a standard that others unconsciously rise to, or fall away from. High-class women are drawn to men whose standards are lived, not spoken. They feel safer around men who know what they will and will not tolerate. As the masculine energy stabilizes, there is less urgency around outcomes. You stop trying to force attraction and start allowing alignment. This relaxed certainty is deeply attractive because it communicates trust in oneself. High-class women gravitate toward men who are not rushing life, not rushing intimacy, and not rushing validation. Retention also dissolves false identities. You stop playing roles designed to impress and start showing up authentically. High-class women, having navigated many performances, recognize authenticity instantly. It feels grounding, honest, and refreshing. Authenticity supported by discipline is far more attractive than charm supported by insecurity. Eventually, attraction becomes secondary to self-mastery. You realize that the real reward of retention is not who notices you, but who you become. This internal shift paradoxically makes attraction effortless. When a man is aligned with his values, his presence becomes self-sustaining. High-class women are drawn not to what he seeks, but to what he stands for. In the end, semen retention does not elevate you above others, it brings you deeper into yourself. And from that depth, a calm authority emerges. High-class women do not chase this authority, they recognize it. And recognition, when it comes naturally, is far more powerful than pursuit. If you found value here, stay disciplined, stay grounded, and stay sovereign. Subscribe to King's Discipline for more teachings on masculine mastery, inner power, and the silent laws of attraction.